Hello and good evening, everyone. I am so glad that you tuned in today. Listen, this is going to be such a great show. I don't want you to miss it. I want you to go now to tell people to come on. We want you to like, we want you to comment, we want you to share. You don't want to miss today's segment because today's segment is the prelude into an amazing event that we're going to be having on Saturday. This Saturday, tell yourself, this Saturday at 12 noon, we want you to be a part of Real Talk with Gene Price live and in full. You don't want to miss it. We want you to come. We have giveaways. We have so many wonderful things that we're going to be doing this Saturday. And I am so glad that we are doing this show. And I want you to be a part of it. Listen, you might be one of the ones in the audience to win something amazing. Listen, but you got to come in order to see it. But but my production team and I, we work really hard, and my team putting this show on, and it's going to be great. And we have some great guests that are going to be joining us. We have live music that's going to be happening. We're going to have just a good time taking photos. It's really going to be great. It's going to be an extravaganza of all times, but you have to be a part of it. Those of you that have been loyal viewers to Real Talk, it's been several years now that I've been on Facebook, and we talk about real issues, real conversations. But imagine us coming together live, and we're not saying it's going to be the last time, but we're really, really glad about doing a live show, just up close and personal. You get a chance to see all the live action that goes on of putting the show together. And of course, I couldn't do it without my team, so I do want to give a shout out to them. But listen, we want to give you a little glimpse of what's going to happen on Saturday and some of my guests that are going to be a part of the show. It's not going to be it's not going to be on Facebook, so you got to be in the studio audience to be able to see what's going to happen. But take a look at my first guest who's going to be part of my show.
A father. I look at a lot of these young men in here, and I see like these pictures holding the football, got all of that going on. I see that all the time. I see so many people walking around here that show so much potential, but maybe somewhere along the way, that guidance wasn't there. So what I'm trying to talk to y'all about today is each and every one of you, be it you're a father, or be it that you have the ability to talk to children in whatever way. I just want to point out the fact that me personally, I didn't have my father. When I grew up at the age of 6, my family broke up. I came from Detroit, east side of Detroit. Came out here and started a new life. Okay, there was a lot of atrocities that go on. I can go the long story. Everybody got theirs. Okay, I'm not trying to go into all of that. But the bottom line was my pops wasn't there. I would see men, they look like my dad. I missed them. We as fathers are logically capable of being able to watch our child and say, you know what? I see that habit. I'm going to curb it right now and get them where they need to be. That's how we do it.
Okay.
One of the things that is overlooked when it comes to fatherhood is childhood. Because all of us are products of our environment.
Yes.
And we have so many men, and as you just stated, women who grew up without a father.
Yes.
So our young men who grew up without a father, entering into fatherhood, where did they learn how to be a father?
Mm-hmm.
From the mother that raised them?
Wow.
Or who was it that taught them what it was like to be a father?
Right.
So we have to start there.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I think is overlooked as parents, where our children is concerned, is I think that it's vitally important that as parents in the development stages of our children, that we respect our children. We're, as parents, we're not the only ones that's worthy of respect.
Right.
We teach our children to respect, some of us anyway.
Yes.
Teach our children to respect their elders. But do we always respect our children?
Mm.
We can teach them to respect others, but do we teach them that they are to be respected?
Yes.
That's one of the vital areas in childhood development that I think a lot of us miss as parents is showing our children that they matter, that they're significant. And the way that we do that is by showing them respect.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Gene Price. Oh my goodness, that was a powerful show. And Darryl Wilson has been on my show so many times. And every time he's on the show, or his wife, and they're better together, which I love them as a couple, it's always something that's powerful. And I think that show resonated so deeply with me and so many other people, because when you grow up without a father, it alters your destiny, if I can say. But we're so grateful for our Heavenly Father, don't get me wrong. And I'm talking about your natural father. It really does play a role in your life. And like I said to Darryl when he was on the show, me as a woman, not having my dad in my life, it really impacted me. You don't have that navigation. You don't have that compass on how to follow things in life. So that was a great show. Then when we dove into what it was like for a man not to have their father, I think that was the epitome for the show for me, because many men, their dads are the example of who they're striving to be like, right? So I think talking about that from a woman's perspective is great, but talking about it from a father's perspective, meaning a man not having their father, I think that was so impactful. And maybe we can get into another show about that, but I would love to have some fathers be a part of my viewing audience the next time we talk about that show. And your feedback. We would love to have your feedback on that show, because it's important for other men to collaborate and talk to other men about their own struggles about not having a father in their life. And we all know, without our Heavenly Father, where would we honestly be? So I'm grateful for that show. And of course, Darryl Wilson will be on Real Talk Live. So listen, you got a glimpse? Come back on Saturday, you'll get more. So I want you to sit tight, because again, Real Talk with Gene Price Live, Saturday, February 10th at 12 p.m. will be at the Bethel Christian Center, 5715 Merrill Road in Massapequa, where Bishop Price and myself are the pastors, the leaders there, and we want you to come and be a part. So our next guest, I want you to sit, and I want you to take a look at our next guest that's going to be a part of our live show. Stay tuned.
Man up. I know what you're trying to say, right? I know that you're trying to say, handle your business. If you want to question my masculinity, like a schoolyard circle of curses, like a sword fight with lightsaber erections, save your breath, because contrary to what you may believe, not every problem can be solved by growing a pair. You cannot arm wrestle your way out of depression. The CEO of the company that just laid you off does not care how much you bench, and I promise there is no light beer in the universe full-bodied enough to make you love yourself. Man up, okay, that's that new superhero, right? Like mild-mannered supplement salesman Mark Manstrong says the magic words man up and then transforms into the 5 o'clock shadow, the massively muscled, deep-voiced, leather duster-wearing Superman who defends the world from, I don't know, feelings. Man up. I want to have meaningful emotional relationships with my brothers. Man up. I want to be weak sometimes. Man up. I want to be strong in a way that isn't about physical power or dominance. Man up. I want to talk to my father about something other than sports. Man up. I want to be who I am. Man up.
I can tell you from experience that I needed that so desperately. And I'll tell you, Pastor Gene, even today, though I have many successes.
Yes.
I have a prosperous business. I have a great family. I have a wonderful church. I think my self-esteem is good. I still, even in my spirit, I still long for a father.
Okay. That's interesting. You talk about longing for a father, longing for that relationship. And as you stated, it did play a role and how you were growing up. So here you now, Pastor Price, you're a man. What is manhood then to you? You have childhood. There's, if you're a young boy, boyhood, a young adulthood. Now you're a man. What is manhood to you?
Wow. What manhood should be, what it should be, it should be the culmination, the graduation from all the other hoods, from the boyhood to the teenagehood to adulthood, to fatherhood, marriagehood. It should be the graduation of all those stages. But if any of those stages encounter levels of pain, dysfunction, perversion, misery, it affects the next hood.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's interesting. That's very interesting. You know, we did that show, I don't even remember, maybe a couple of years ago, but that was so powerful. Bishop Derek Kenneth Price is going to be live on Real Talk with Gene Price on Saturday. Listen, I'm already trying to think of the men that I could think of to text them. You don't want to miss that show. That show was so impactful. And the reason I loved it so much, not because Bishop is my husband of almost 40 years, but because his transparency. And that's what I feel men, again, I know I'm a woman, but I feel that's what men need. Men need another man. Iron sharpeneth iron, right? But seeing another man be transparent about what it was like in your childhood to your young adulthood, and then you're a man, and the challenges that men face, the weights that they carry with their families or their churches that are on their back. Man, that was a good show. Listen, we're going to be live and in person, and we're going to be talking about that topic. So if you know any men, really, and not because he's my husband, please hear me good. I really know he's been anointed by God to reach the men. I really know that without a shadow of a doubt. So if you know any men from your churches, from your family, from wherever from your job, invite them to Real Talk with Gene Price on Saturday at 12 p.m. Again, 5715 Merrick Road in the heart of Massapequa at Bethel Christian Center. That's going to be one topic you don't want to miss. And I'm hoping that after you hear that conversation live, and that you want to go back and maybe start groups of men talking in their own chats and in their own churches, in their own families, just being true and authentic about what it's really like, what men go through. And we all know that the world has been designed especially to kill out our Black men. So imagine a bunch of Black men getting together to talk about the culture that they face every single day, with doors slammed in their face, being fired from jobs, and they don't want to even go home and tell their wives, but hold their head up high. They have a whole family that's dependent upon them. Listen, you don't want to miss that show. I want to see you on Saturday at 12 p.m. live again and in person. Bishop Derek Kenneth Price is going to be there, and we're going to talk about that. What's it really like to be a man? All right. So listen, we have another guest that's going to be with us. She's been on my show so many times. We are like knitted at the heart. I have grown. What can I say? I have grown to really love Dr. Tay. She has become a very important person in my life, also to my husband as well. And she's valuable. She's everything I feel that we need in the world like today to help us get through some things. I myself, I work with a lot of women, a lot of girls, and dealing with trauma and navigating those life's issues that have plagued us. Dr. Tay has been anointed for this. And there's some things that her and I have talked about offline that I've seen and she shared with me that came to pass. Just sit back and take a look at this.
A recent HHS government health survey found that nearly half of young adults 18 to 25 had experienced either substance use or a mental health disorder during the height of the pandemic. The report also found that many of those people did not receive treatment.
I had a therapist tell me once, it was ironic how much love I gave out, because because I didn't give much to myself.
The bondage that we experience in our soul is not just from the event, but from the lies that the enemy whispered to you that it was your fault as a result of the event.
It is reminding myself that if someone can love a dying thing this way, can hold the Lazarus of my body and give thanks for the way it holds back. If someone can kiss the scars, administer the pills, absorb the bad days, and wake up smiling next to me, then I can try to breathe again. Because self-love does not always come first, or second, or even ever. But your love be the guardrail on the ledge, be the drawers that hide all of the sharp things, be the body that carries my collapsed frame into bed, be the flowers you bought. Because even though they are dying too, they still dance. Love will not heal me, will not wipe my slate of a body clean. I will always be a woman of wounds, of rope-marked neck and melted skin. Love will not heal me, but it will hold my hand if I ever heal myself.
Like, we can lose ourselves in a relationship, in a situation, and not see the difference because we're with ourselves like every day until we have that moment where it's just like, wow.
So someone on the outside looking in
Mm-hmm.
can get a better picture and a view of what's going on.
Right.
When someone doesn't accept that, do you give up on people?
I was just about to go there. You know, the prayer is that when you are that outside person looking in, the prayer is that they're receptive.
Okay.
But they're not always going to be.
I know.
But one plants, the other waters, and God is the increase. So I think as we are, attempting to be the guardrails on the ledge for people, we have to be mindful that they're not always going to be receptive, and they might not be receptive right away.
Right.
But not to give up. Because there's so many, especially in the United States, there's so many people, and there's research on it, who are struggling with mental health diagnoses like schizophrenia.
Okay.
And there's so many families who have shunned the family member because, and I'm sure there's a lot of heartache and anguish and whatever, but there's research that shows that when the family is involved in the treatment, the outcomes are better.
Really? Wow.
So that tells me that even though it hurts, don't give up on the person. Sometimes you might have to support from afar for your own mental health.
Yes.
But being involved and not giving up on the person can actually be better for them.
Okay. During the clip, it also mentioned, talked about treatment during the pandemic. A lot of people weren't able to get treatment. In your experience and in your practice, here we are out of the pandemic. Do you find that cases are harder because they missed their treatment during that shutdown in the pandemic? How do you scale it now?
I wouldn't say that they are harder.
Okay.
I'd say that there's more of an influx of people seeking help. I'm seeing it now, even in the higher education field. Like, mental health professionals are inundated. One thing is because of access. Because initially people might, they might have been going to therapy in person. It's just like, oh no, I can't go in person. But because we turned to telehealth,
that's so good.
It's become more accessible for people. So people can receive the benefits of therapy in the anonymity of their own home because they don't have to go to a building that says, therapeutic practice or whatever the case may be. So there's been more access. The door has been opened as far as virtual therapy is concerned. So now people are becoming more comfortable with getting therapy.
See, I told you. That's Dr. Tay. Every time we get together, she drops jewels. Listen, and especially for the ladies that are out there, you don't want to miss our live show on Saturday where Dr. Tay will be live and in person. If you want to we have somebody to help you get through your issues that you've been facing in life, you want to come to the show, you want to see what she's all about, and then you want to sign up with her to be your coach and or your counselor. Dr. Tay has been graced in a time like today. This is her season where God really, she's a woman of God. She's a woman of faith, and God really uses her. It's free. Listen, all you have to do is go on brushfire.com, Real Talk with Gene Price, and just go in there and sign up. It's free, and just get your ticket. It's free of charge. Bring as many people as you can. Many, many, many people. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss what we have in store. This has been such a great segment, even for me to just get on and talk about what's going to happen on Saturday, because I'm so excited. And it's going to work. It's going to be worth it. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. So I'm going to tell you again, get your mom, your dad, especially your brothers, your uncle, your sisters, come and join me on Saturday, where I will be live and in person with my guests. And we're going to be at 5715 Merrick Road in Massapequa at 12 p.m. live. We are going to be there. So it'll be posted in a link after the show. Once we go off today, go get your tickets. Again, it's free. You don't have to even pay. I just would love to see your faces. And most importantly, I want you to have something to take back with you. Because that's what Real Talk is all about. Real Talk is about real issues, real discussions. And we have this platform. I feel like God has graced us where people can come on and then you can really, truly get something from it. It's been a blessing for me. Though I'm the host, it's really been a blessing. So tonight, I wanted to say thank you for joining me on Real Talk with Gene Price. I want to see you on Saturday at 12 p.m. where we'll be live and in person with Real Talk with Gene Price. Have a good night.